So last time I talked about taking the Tau Riptide here and showing you how I ran the wires all the way through him and got the LEDs, the gun to spin, all kinds of other fun things like that. However, the first part to building the model is going to be the base. Spent a lot of time looking around trying to figure out exactly what it was that I wanted to do. And what I decided in the end was to go pick up a Valkyrie set here. The idea is I'm going to take the base, which is the same as the Riptide base, a little bit of foam, and I'm going to create a crash site out of the two of these. Once the Valkyrie, which is still sitting on its frames, is all put together, the Valkyrie is going to be crashed into the base here. Riptide's going to be partially mounted on it, and I'm probably going to make all the guardsmen inside the pilot seats dead. Put some bullet holes through the glass, whatever the case may be. Something that will be fun and interesting, and also give me a place where I can turn around and hide my batteries. That's also why I say you need to build your base before you build your model, because you need a place where your batteries can be hidden so that your wires don't show in your end result. I'm going to build the base and all that as I generally jump onto other projects. So what I was going to show you here was my improved Templar. I don't know how well this camera works, but so be it. Basically, I've got a Pelican case that I lug my army around in, but I try to bring both my Templar and my Tau around. Never put more than like 40 guys on the ground at a time, except out of those 40 guys, I get stuck hauling around 80, so that I have enough Templars that have close combat weapons, enough Templars that have bolters, enough assault packs, whatever the case may be. So what I've decided to do is, instead of lugging all this around, I'm in the process of converting my army over. So right here is my Templar with the bolter. I don't use a lot of these guys, but I do every now and again when I'm running a shooty list. So most of the time he won't have his arms on like that. Instead, what he will have will be his close combat weapons. So how I did this was I put two 1/8 by 1/8 inch rare earth magnets in the body with 1/8 by 1/16 inch magnets inside the arms. An 1/8 of an inch deep is just a little bit, or thickness, it's just a little bit too deep going into the arm, and it makes it difficult to properly drill and seat the magnet. However, I've recently got into running a lot of assault troops. Now, granted, this assault pack is not it's not primed, it's not ready, it's not 90% finished like this model is, but I want to be able to properly represent him. So again, this is the 1/8 by 1/8 magnet in the suit, which snaps onto the 1/8 by 1/8 model in the model's back. Snaps on, and now he's gone from a bolter marine to a close combat Templar to an assault Templar, simply by changing the models around. And all these little bits with their little magnets fit with the model inside my GW foam. As fun and interesting as he is, he's not what I spent the most of my time on. The majority of my time I actually spent on this guy here. This is just a test model. He's not going to be the one that I run with. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a chaplain in my army. I don't know how well that shows. A chaplain in my army who had glowing red eyes. So, flicking the light off here, you can see it a little bit easier. Obviously, I'm going to have to go through and touch around his neck so he's not spilling LED light out through the rest of his body. to show how he's all put together. His base here, which is a little bit taller, is actually holding a 3-volt watch battery. This is of itself actually just about the exact same size as an infantry base, so this will work well enough on its own. I've cut some holes and some paths through the corkboard on the bottom here, which will be able to disguise my wires. After that, I picked a leg that had most of a straight line through it, because what that did was it allowed me to drill a hole coming through the foot where the wire is going to connect in, straight through to the hip joint where the wire is going to come out, which would allow me to run the wire through the model. Then coming into his chest cavity, I took a 1/8 inch bit and just drilled the hole all the way through. The reason I went with that is because I have 1.88 millimeter LEDs that I like to stick inside the heads of models, and I can fit the LED wires and soldering into this hole, which allows me to suck the head down in. And lastly, here's our head. I took the GW drill, drilled out his eyes to get into the corner, and then through the bottom I took again a 1/8 drill bit, and that 1/8 drill bit through the bottom of his head allowed me to squeeze my 1.8 millimeter LED into his head. I did have to file it down because it's a little bit square on these edges, but I still wanted a tight fit because I don't want to glue it in. I'm running a 2.5 volt maximum LED with 3 volts of electricity. I could work in a resistor down in here like I did on my battle suit so that I won't wear out my LEDs, but it really wasn't as big of a concern for me on this one. If I have his LED able to slide back in and out of his head, I can just replace this later. It also gives me the ability to say, you know, this week I want green eyes, I want yellow eyes, whatever it is that I'm feeling for the color of eyes that I want him to show. I just change the LED and his eyes glow in that color. With this project done and my little 5-man set of Templar that I all got together with their detachable arms and detachable backpacks, now I think I'll actually turn around to getting back to getting my Valkyrie put together so that it can in turn turn into a base for my new Riptide. Other than that, I'll try to get it up at some point. However, I work full time, so it'll be done when it's done.